Hey makeup friends, another month has come and gone, so it is time for Oohs and Ewws. Let's get into it. As always, I want to start off by welcoming you back to my channel, or if you are new here, then hello and welcome. My name is Kara, and on my channel we like to mix beauty, brains, and the occasional F-bomb. Now the makeup that you're seeing, you've probably seen in a couple other videos already. I did film it as part of a Get Ready With Me. On my eyes is the new Jaguar palette from Huda Beauty, and on my lips I have one of the Sustain lipsticks from Cheekbone Beauty in the shade Nuna, and I've topped it with Cashew from Tower 28. Okay, let's get right into this. I do have a bit of a mix. I also have a very random favorite, but we will leave that for the very end. It is not makeup related and it might make people a little bit uncomfortable, but we will get to that when we get to it. And I do have two that are not complete like oohs, but just sort of not fantastic. So we'll throw those into the mix as well. First up, we're going to talk a skincare item. Here we go. Shocking, I know. I'm looking a little bit different than the intro. However, it'll make sense in just a moment. So the first product that I want to talk about is this mask here from Gleamin. So this is the Vitamin C Clay Mask. Now straight off the bat, I just want you to be aware this portion of the video is sponsored by Gleamin, and they did send this product to me for review purposes. But I want to let you know that one of the reasons that I accepted the sponsorship was because in their list of criteria, one of the things was that I was not allowed to use a filter. And I really respect that. I've actually received sponsorship offers in the past where in the fine print it says that I'm not allowed to say that they gifted it to me. I'm not allowed to indicate that anywhere in any of my tags, anything of that sort. First of all, I think that's highly illegal. Second of all, I would never do that. If something's sponsored, I'm going to let you know. Nonetheless, they have not told me what I need to talk about, so all my thoughts on this are my own. And what I can say is that this is a genuine favorite. The Vitamin C Clay Mask from Gleamin is vegan and cruelty-free, and it's made in Australia. It includes certified organic items, and it has a shelf life of about 12 months. I'm going to put the ingredients up on the side here so that you can take a look. Always do your own research if there's any concerns about ingredients. I am certainly not an expert on that, but I will leave them up here so that you can take a look yourself. And the reason why I'm talking about it completely barefaced is because the claims that this product make are legit. So the claims for the product, on the front it says, for a luminous barefaced glow in minutes. So this is as barefaced as it gets. So I applied the mask, let it dry, rinsed it off. I'm going to show you footage of that in just a moment. And then I just left my skin alone. So I don't have toner, serum, moisturizer. I don't have anything going on my skin at this moment. And yet, you can see just how healthy it is. Like it has this luminosity to it that impresses the heck out of me. And I credit this. I noticed this after the very first time that I used this product, that the next day my skin just looked so much healthier. It's got like a nice sheen to it without being greasy or oily. There is absolutely no residue on my skin at all. And it just looks like I've drank the requisite amount of water and, done the activities and stuff. It just looks healthy, and I am just so completely happy with this product. So let's go ahead and get into the application of it. I just wanted to show you this mask in action. So it actually comes with like a little wee brush as well. And so you just pick some of it up and just get to painting. Now I will say, not a huge fan of the smell of it. But having said that, I also appreciate the fact that it's not heavily fragranced. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you're using skincare products and you're like, I feel like I'm just swiping pure perfume on my face. And that is not what happens with this one at all. It really does smell like what the ingredients are. So while I don't love the smell, it's not an artificial smell that I'm reacting to. Anyways, you can see it applies really nicely and a little bit goes a long way. You don't need to use a ton of product. I am like going back into the jar a few times, but I'm really not picking up an awful lot each time. You don't need a like thick layer or anything of that sort. The brush makes it so helpful because then you can get a nice even application. And then once it's all applied, like any other mask, you just let it dry. And then what I really like about this one as well is that it rinses off really easily. I don't like when you have a mask and you're just like, could you come off now, please? And like you have to soak your face or do all sorts of like nonsense in order to get it to wash off. This one just sort of dissolves away really easily with warm water. And then I just use one of my little makeup erasers just to get off every little bit of it. And it leaves your skin feeling nicely hydrated. There's no like residue left over. Nothing feels oily, nothing feels sticky. You just feel clean and like you've actually done something nice for your skin. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and then I'll come back and just show you the washing off process. All right, so the mask has now been on for about 10 minutes. There's still, you can see where I'm sweating. So it hasn't completely dried down, but most other areas are, so it is what it is. It's finally hot here in Canada now that it's the end of August. Anyways, Mr. SpongeBob's going to help me wipe it off. I just have some warm water on there, and then it really doesn't take a lot. Like, I love that I don't have to just like press it to my face and let it get like re-wet or anything like that. It just washes off nice and easily. And like I said, there's like no film left on my skin or anything of that sort. Like it feels just like I've taken care of it basically. And I love that. So there it is. Ta-da! So there you have it, guys. Once again, that's the Vitamin C Clay Mask from Gleamin, and I highly recommend it. All right, so thank you to Gleamin for sponsoring that portion of the video. From here on out, none of these items are PR. They are all items that I've purchased myself. So let's tackle it. I have two eyeshadow palettes that I want to talk about. I do want to say that for the month of August, because I've been like away camping and then I took a break from filming, I haven't really been wearing a ton of makeup. I've just been taking a break, generally speaking. But when I'm going to the office, I am looking for something fast and easy, and these two palettes totally hit the mark for me. So first up is the newest one from Wayne Goss. This is the Luxury Eye Palette in Pearl, and I did do a dedicated review of this palette, and honestly, these are the kind of shades that just blend themselves. Like the mattes in here are so nice and easy to work with. This like super shimmery shadow over here is just beautiful all over the lid. I have no complaints about this palette whatsoever. I think it's so pretty. I love using it because it's, like I said, just so easy to apply. You don't have to sit there and blend forever. It just comes together really quickly, and that's what I'm looking for when I'm getting ready for work. Now, let's bring the price point way down though and talk about an item from ColourPop. This is the Going Coconuts palette. A lot of you recommended this one to me when I did my top 10 neutral palettes, and you didn't steer me wrong. This is beautiful. Like these shimmers in here are impeccable. They're gorgeous. They last all day on the lid. There's no flaking, no transfer, no creasing, like nothing that you don't want happening. And yet they're super impactful, super high foiled. You can see it right there on my finger. Like they're just so nice. And again, these mattes in here are also very easy to work with. And so when I'm getting ready in the morning, I'm not spending a ton of time trying to blend out any sort of stubborn shades. Even this really deep brown over here applies without any issue whatsoever. Thank you all so much for the recommendation on this one because I love it. Now let's talk about an eyeshadow palette that I wasn't super in love with though, and I haven't actually done a complete review on it yet. Jury's still out. I don't know that I'm going to at this point because it has been on the market for a while, so I'm going to share my thoughts on it with you here, and that is the new Mini Xenon palette from Natasha Denona. So in terms of the application, I didn't have any issues with this. I do sometimes find that her cream to powder formula can be a little bit hit or miss. Sometimes they're very stubborn. These ones are not. They were easy to work with, even that really matte black, but the longevity was not there. I wore this in, I can't remember which video, but I know I did a close-up at the end of it talking about the foundation or the concealer, something. And whatever product it was that I was reviewing in that video held up far better than these eyeshadows did. There was a ton of fading and creasing. It became very patchy over the course of the day and just didn't hold up. And that's something that I find can be very, very frustrating when trying to do really dark, smoky eyes. The black that I put on often does transfer away or just becomes very patchy, and this one is no different. Now, I think if you went in with a black base, either the jumbo eye pencil from NYX in Black Bean or any other sort of dark base, I think that's going to help with the longevity. But when I'm testing out a palette, I like to test it for what it is, just on its own. I will use an eye primer, but I don't want to help it along with a dark base because I want to see how this actually holds up on its own. And this one left me wanting more. So while it is very pretty and I think it would work well for like just a date night, if you're looking for something that's going to be long lasting, this one's going to need some assistance. And that's not to say that this is a terrible palette, but it's certainly not one that I would say like if you like a dark dramatic eye, this is the one that you need. I really can't say that it rises to that level for me. I'm not super disappointed with it. I will continue to play with it and use it. But like I said, I'm going to try it with a dark base and see how that holds up throughout the course of the day. But just on its own, it really did not hold up well at all. Now, a product that did hold up really well for me is the new one here from YSL. This is the new Bare Look tint, and I have it in the shade 5. Again, I did a dedicated review on this, and this knocked my socks off. Like, it has a higher price point, so that kind of holds me back from being like, you need this in your life, because like, you don't. But, oh my goodness, I was very impressed with this. I have used some YSL base products in the past. I've tried a couple of their foundations. I want to say I've had at least 2 of their foundations and have not been wild about them. They just didn't sit all that well on my skin. This one, however, definitely did. And it really wore very nicely throughout the day as well. It had a very lightweight feel to it. It never felt heavy on my skin, never felt greasy. It looked really natural. And by the end of the day, the wear that was there was very minimal. And that's what I'm hoping for in a base product. I do expect that there is going to be wear over the course of the day, but I don't want it completely separated or just like it slid down my face or like some of the things that other face products do. This one did not, and I really, really do enjoy this one. Now, while I love the YSL skin tint, this tinted moisturizer from Maybelline, the Fit Me Tinted Moisturizer, it did not wow me at all. And I can't say that I hate it. It's not a true ew, but there's definitely better on the market, and this one just left me wanting more. Now, upon initial application, I have no complaints. It's a nice lightweight product. It sinks into the skin well. It looks very natural. It offers a very light amount of coverage, which doesn't bother me at all. It's a tinted moisturizer. That's what I expect, and I prefer a lighter amount of coverage. The problem for me lies in how it looks towards the end of the day. And I'm really just talking like the end of the workday, not even like 14 hours after I've applied it, but more like 7 to 8 hours. This has separated, it's sort of risen so that it's sitting on top of the skin, and I'm just very aware of the makeup and I can see it. And I don't want to have it look like I'm wearing makeup, especially when it comes to foundation type products. I want people to be like, hey, I like your face. What did you do? I wore makeup. I don't want people to be like, hey, I like the look of your foundation. You know what I mean? So this one, it definitely by the end of the day looks like you're wearing makeup and looks like you're not wearing great makeup. So I can't say that I hate it. I certainly disliked the Glow Wish from Huda Beauty way more than I dislike this, but nor can I recommend it. I don't think that it's a great product. It certainly just does not hold up throughout the day. All right, now I've got 3 things, 2 of which I'm gonna lump together because they're both Starbucks orders. And then the other one, you're not going to see it coming, so don't even try to predict what it is that I'm about to talk about. But let's back it up, talk about Starbucks. So, as most of you know, I did undergo gastric bypass surgery 2 years ago. I've lost a bunch of weight. I've gained a little bit of it back. We're working on that. It's fine. It's not a huge issue, but I am very aware of how much sugar is in things, how much fat content is in there, and I also look for protein, although when it comes to Starbucks drinks, protein's not really the factor. So I'm really looking at how much sugar is in something and how much fat is in something. And there are some very high sugar items at Starbucks, like 50 plus grams of sugar per drink, and I can't. that is going to ruin my entire life. I cannot do it. It's going to make me feel sick. And then it's going to lead to like a hypoglycemic episode like an hour later. And it's just not worth it to me. So I avoid any sort of like frappuccino thing or anything that has a ton of sugar in it. I just can't tolerate it anymore. And so I just avoid it. So first up, this guy here. This is the black tea lemonade. I cannot stop drinking these. They are so good. So I do limit myself. It's not like a hard and fast rule. It's not like only on Fridays I can drink Starbucks or anything like that. But I don't drink it every day. But this is definitely a craveable drink for me. So the black tea lemonade, I modify it. So I reduce the sugar by half. So normally in the venti, which is what I typically order, there's 6 pumps of cane sugar. I drop that down to 3, but then I get them to add a little bit of extra lemonade. It's perfection. You don't get any of that bitterness, but I really think that if I had the full 6 pumps of sugar in there, it would just be cloyingly sweet. So this is like the perfect balance for me. Love it. The other drink that I get is the iced brown sugar oat shaken espresso. It's a very long name. That's why I had to read it because I can't remember that. But in there for the grande size, so a little bit smaller than this one, there's 120 calories, 3 grams of fat, and 13 grams of sugar. Compare that to, say, let's see here, pumpkin spice latte. If I was to get a grande pumpkin spice latte, there's 390 calories, 14 grams of fat, and 50 grams of sugar. So as much as I love me a pumpkin spice latte, I just can't bring myself to do it because I know how it makes me feel, and that feeling is not good. At any rate, those are the 2 Starbucks drinks that I have been absolutely in love with. With the shaken brown sugar, whatever the fuck, I don't really do much in the way of modification. If anything, I'll take 1 pump of like the brown sugar syrup out of it, but I don't change anything around. It comes with oat milk. If anything comes with like 2% milk or anything like cow's milk, I always switch that out for soy or almond or oat or whatever, just because cow's milk and I don't get along well after the surgery that I had. But at any rate, I just wanted to share my Starbucks order with you. I don't know why I felt compelled to do so, but I did. Let me know down below what's your Starbucks order. I would love to hear from you because I always want to get inspiration, especially if there's like weird modifications. Let me know. So that is going to bring us to my last favorite. So let's just back it up for a second. I'm going to be talking about Savage X Fenty. So Canadian viewers, the pricing to Canada is atrocious. The only reason that I'm able to get like the membership for it and to even like consider ordering stuff from them is because I have it shipped to a PO box in the States and then they forward it up to me in Canada. Because if I order directly from the site, first of all, you can't get the membership as a Canadian and the cost is just prohibitive. Like it's just ridiculous. So at any rate, I have a workaround, and the only reason that I have an American post office is because of this channel. So don't go and get an American post office just for the sake of underwear. But anyways, American viewers, you might want to listen to this part of it. Anyways, let me just say, my tatas, I am down from like an H cup, but I'm basically a 40 triple D at this point. Their bras, beautiful. So here's one. It fits flush against my body. It holds everything into place. It's adorable. The straps aren't like the 4-inch wide straps that you find on a lot of plus size bras, and yet they don't cut in as like at all. Everything fits like flush against my body the way you would want it to. Straps around here are nice and wide so that you're not getting anything cutting in here. And it's just adorable. Like I love this bra. I love the design on it. Nothing pokes through, nothing gapes at the bottom. Like, I'm in love with this bra. It also comes with a little matching underwear set, but I'm not showing you that in this video. I am going to be showing it in a gastric bypass update video, but the point of that video is not the underwear set, it's the body underneath it, but that'll come at some point if I actually have the stones to post that particular segment. We shall see. But what I want to talk about and why I'm like, you guys aren't going to see this coming, crotchless underwear. These are fantastic. They truly are. So, full disclosure, I've worn crotchless underwear before. and they're typically very uncomfortable. Like they have like little like elastic straps that go around the legs, and then everything else is just like flapping in the breeze. Maybe I shouldn't say the word flapping when I'm talking about crotchless underwear, because nothing actually flaps, but like, turn a phrase, like you get what I'm saying, right? Everything's just sort of like on display. That is perfectly fine under some circumstances, but I'm not going to wear those underwear to work. However, I will wear these ones to work. They are so freaking comfortable. So these are their mesh crotchless underwear. Now they do have other underwear, but I don't really like a lot of the styles. I don't like cheeky underwear where it's sort of like riding the line of like, do I have a wedgie? Do I not have a wedgie? If I move this way, am I going to get a wedgie? I don't like that. I don't want to be aware of my butt. There it is. These stay in place. So I'm not going to model them for you because they're freaking mesh. They're see-through. But you can see that they have like a nice high leg, and yet the butt of them is wide enough to cover what you need it to cover, and it stays in place. And the best part about these, how I was saying like things flap in the breeze with most crotchless underwear, if I like hold it tight the way it would be when I sit down. So the way that it's even stitched in is overlapped. So it just like, it acts like regular underwear unless you don't want it to. I don't know why I'm sharing all this with you, but here we are. At any rate, they're wildly comfortable, like wildly comfortable. And I get mine a size larger than what I normally wear, so I get the 2X, but I will say that their like measuring size guide thing is very accurate, especially for bras. Like it's really good. So at any rate, check out Savage X Fenty. They have some great options, and don't be afraid of crotchless underwear because these ones are fantastic. They are so comfortable. All right, with that said, I'm going to wrap it up here before I get myself in any more trouble. But let me know down below, what have you been loving this month? What are you not loving? What's your Starbucks order? All that kind of stuff. I'd love to hear from you. But for now, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.